Today there's a good chance that a lot of tortoises will be out moving around. I mentioned you work with turtles with someone, and their first image is that they live in the water. Okay, well, this is a tortoise. It's a land turtle, so they think, okay, it lives out in the grass and nice rolling terrain maybe. And a desert tortoise, okay, so it's a little hotter, but they must be out in the creosote bush flat.
So you ready for a hike?
Tortoises can't climb around and get into too much trouble that way, so it must be pretty easy.
We've got radio transmitters on the tortoises that we're going after.
Well, in the Sonoran Desert, they're on these incredibly steep, rocky slopes.
That beep you hear is our tortoise.
Putting a radio transmitter on a tortoise and following where that signal is coming from and tracking them where they're moving is just amazing.
These tortoises have four-wheel drive.
They're just incredible organisms living out in this kind of habitat.
Here he is.
But it's interesting to learn about their ways of maintaining themselves in this
It's a harsh environment,
desert.
certainly. Yes. Very harsh environment, but they managed to do well.
This is a little male. I find them fascinating because they're truly a prehistoric animal. If you look at skeletal remains, they have not changed in millions and millions of years. This particular species of tortoise, the desert tortoise, has adapted to this country so well that it can live for more than 1 year with no water. The tortoise has the ability to recycle its urine.
Today we're out here tracking female tortoises primarily to study their reproductive ecology.
I didn't want to hear that. He's up the hill. We have 21 tortoises with radio collars on them, i.e. transmitters. Every week we come out and locate the tortoise and give it a physical and GPS its location. This is number one. She was the first tortoise found out here. This tortoise has been with us since 1992.
She's greater than 20 years old. The scoot ring, the little growth rings on the shell wear off after about that, and we can only say that she's over 20.
These are individual scoots, and each year they grow, they get a ring. As they grow, these scoots widen.
This is a mature follicle.
4 or 5 times a year we'll come out and we do a full ultrasound.
One of the things that we're looking at is the differences between Sonoran desert tortoises and Mojave desert tortoises. In the Sonoran, there's never been reports of more than 1 clutch of eggs, whereas in the Mojave, they have 2, sometimes 3 clutches of eggs in good years. It's pretty small. I don't look to see anything in her.
In the Mojave Desert, the tortoise is listed as threatened under the Endangered Species Act. So we know we have problems there. We're working in the Sonoran Desert where so far things haven't been in such dire straits. In fact, it's not listed under the Endangered Species Act.
So that's the heart beating there in the middle. Because they're such a long-lived species, I think we can tell a lot about the desert and what's happening in the desert based upon how the desert tortoises are doing. Currently, we're fairly secure with the Sonoran desert tortoise.
Okay guys, we're off.
The problem in the Mojave Desert is that a lot of the research didn't start until after it was already in serious decline, and it's much more difficult to do these studies and gather this information when you are running out of animals.
Right in there between those 2 rocks. As we encroach on their territory, we decrease their range. Come on, you've done this before.
One of the questions we have is, at what age or size do the tortoises become sexually mature and start reproducing?
How you doing, honey?
So we know how long a tortoise has to survive before it even can contribute babies to the population.
And we'll put her in this damp cloth. Desert tortoises, on a very good year, may lay 5, 6, 7 eggs, of which 80% will hatch, but there will be 99% mortality.
The measurement is 1.2.
So out of 10 or 20 tortoises, you may get 1 baby to survive to adulthood.
So this is number 45?
Statistically, it takes an awful lot of desert tortoises to maintain a viable population. So studying them helps us determine how they grow and helps us define population densities, et cetera, and we want to make sure we take care of them.
2154.
2154.
You can see a lot of personality differences between different tortoises. A lot of the newer ones are kind of shy because they're not used to us handling them a lot, but some of the ones that we've been tracking for several years, it's kind of old hat to them, and when we process them and return them, we can really see what they're doing.
What's her number 68?
When the tortoises get together, they'll say, "Do you believe in aliens?" And the other one will say, "No." And he says, "Well, I do, because I was just out by myself, and all of a sudden this big giant came by, and I just got enveloped in this big white cloud, and then I got this physical exam, and they poked and they prodded, and then I got in the cloud again, and when I woke up, I was right back where I started." Today we were able to bring everybody home and get sonograms and get them returned.
Okay, number 66, we're going home.
So it went great. Good day today.